Getting beat up by 9 guys in Syracuse, to me, there's not a whole lot of shame.
Welcome to the Heel to the Face podcast.
And this right here,
with your hosts, Jarod Wicks, Brandon Icebreaker Clements, and Paul Boy Green Esden.
It doesn't matter what your name is. And that's the bottom line. You're Stone Cold Texas.
I have received an email.
Don't forget to email the show at heeltotheface@hotmail.com.
Best there is, the best there was, or the best there ever will be.
Brett screwed Brett because it's what's best for business.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. The champ is here. Oh yeah, new Jarod. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya.
Tweet us using the handle @HeelToTheFace.
Woo! Let's get ready to suck it!
The bell is rung, so let's step in the ring with your hosts, Paul, Brandon, and Jarod.
I might as well tie me up with my buddy from Syracuse.
We are on the air for the Heel to the Face podcast. This is the 3rd week of September 2017 on the heels of No Mercy this Sunday night on pay-per-view. Well, actually, not on pay-per-view. It's on the WWE Network. It's probably on pay-per-view to somebody, probably overseas, but obviously here we're just familiar with it being on the WWE Network. Now, I don't like it, if I can just go on a little, not a rant, but just say, speaking of it being on pay-per-view, WWE every single week says exclusively on the WWE Network, but that is actually a lie because I have caught it on pay-per-view in many different places. So either way, No Mercy, one of WWE's what they call pay-per-view events this Sunday, a busy Raw and SmackDown, as we are joined this week in the booth, as always, with Brandon the Icebreaker Clements, typing away. I don't know what he's doing on the other end.
I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Paul Boy Green Esden. You can find him on Twitter at BoyGreen25, and myself, Jarod Wicks. Paul, what's going on over there?
I'm getting all my analytics ready for the show.
Getting all your analytics ready. That sounds great. So apparently maybe we should call you Paul the Brain Esden over there.
I like that.
All right. So this past week, a very busy Raw and SmackDown. The Raw Go Home show before the pay-per-view, the last Raw before No Mercy. I feel like I'm just repeating a few things there, but either way, let's get to where we are. I want to say this stuck out. I will get to the promos in a few minutes, but I liked seeing Dustin Rhodes being used. What was that about? Gold Dust without the mask on? That was quite interesting. When I went back and I watched Raw after, I didn't really watch too much of it live, but I went and watched it on DVR like most people do, and that was probably one of the more interesting parts of Raw, just because it was something I wasn't used to seeing. I would like to see them do more with Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, that idea.
Yeah, I liked it. It's nice that he gets to step away from the Goldust character. I'm good with it. The match itself, it was okay.
Yeah, the match itself was garbage.
But it's, you know what the thing is? I want to see them use the Dustin Rhodes name more, especially with Cody Rhodes doing his thing, traveling the world in the indie circuit and everything. But the match itself, Bray Wyatt, no surprise he did win the match. What do you think on that, Paul?
It was a little bit jarring to see Goldust in that fashion, but the thing that kind of killed the buzz for me was you had that kind of emotional moment where he reaches out to Kurt Angle not as a WWE superstar but as a man. And then from that, he ends up losing the match to Bray Wyatt. So you kind of lose some of that there, and as we all mutually agree, the match was crap. But it was interesting to see him without the face, and I feel like you could mix between that and kind of do this, human demon thing that they're kind of doing with Finn Balor. You could kind of do that in terms of addressing him in this third-person Goldust as opposed to using him as the Rhodes character.
Now, thinking about this kind of on the fly here, we were talking last week about a go-out match for the Big Show at WrestleMania, his last hurrah. He's going to retire regardless. And we were saying, who could he go against? A lot of us thought Kane. Kane needs that last moment. He's a little too much into politics probably to come back in WWE. But Dustin Rhodes, Goldust, whoever you want to call, been in pro wrestling since the late 80s, been in WWE as Goldust since 1995. Here or there, left for WCW for a little while. But either way, made his WWE debut in 1995 as Goldust, made his debut as Dustin Rhodes, on a dark match in probably 1989, 1990. But he's had a very long career, and somebody who's had a long career and he hasn't really had anything to show for it. He's just been that slow and steady wins the race type character. He's been the punter of the team, if you will. Hey, he's still there. We didn't fire him yet because we don't pay him enough, nor pay him enough attention to have to even realize that he's still here. So maybe we build up Dustin Rhodes. Maybe we build him up. This is his last hurrah. Give him some character, maybe a little like kind of what they were doing.
Is his contract up too?
I know his contract. I don't think his contract's up, but I mean, our patience, our enjoyment of him has been up for a very long time, and it's either piss or get off the pot. So I think with Dustin Rhodes, maybe it's time that he does retire, but instead of just retiring and just saying, "Hey, he left," give him something that he's never gotten before. Put him maybe back in the Goldust character. Keep him in Dustin Rhodes, however you want to do it. But do it similar to what they were doing maybe a little bit with R-Truth there. Build him up, give him some character, and make sure you bring up his history, his family's history, and build him up for maybe a match against Big Show at WrestleMania.
But who wants to? Let me ask you this: who wants to see this on a WrestleMania card? Paul, do you want to see that matchup?
I think if you execute it the right way, how kind of Jarod is talking about, I think anything is possible.
I mean, he's been in. We don't realize he's been in wrestling since like 1988.
Yeah, I was going to say he's been in wrestling longer than I've been on the earth.
If we build that history up and we, show you about what he did against Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 12 and that Hollywood Backlot Brawl, and we build up both his human character and the Goldust character that a lot of people are liking. Again, not going to be the greatest wrestling match, but compelling. And in a year without the Undertaker, it's time to start thinking outside the box for these different angles. And we were talking. I just thought of it because we saw Goldust this past week in different character
kickoff show.
No, to be honest with you, the thing with the kickoff show about WrestleMania is I don't feel that any match deserves to be on the kickoff show, because if it's on WrestleMania and it was deemed to be WrestleMania quality, then I don't think that it should be on the kickoff show. Obviously, there are matches on the kickoff show for some reason because there's TV time to fill, but I would not designate any match for the kickoff show, because if I'm going to designate it for the kickoff show, then I'm not going to designate it for the WrestleMania card. That's just me personally. I'm not going to say I'd love to see that match, but not on pay-per-view.
Watch on YouTube,
I'd love to see that match at WrestleMania in front of 100,000 people. Oh, but only if it's on free TV. I'm either going to want it or I don't want it. I'm just saying it'd be a curious thing. But one thing we are going to get this Sunday, John Cena versus Roman Reigns. John Cena not at Raw this week because, like Roman Reigns said, to bring back what John Cena did right before his WrestleMania match against The Rock, calling The Rock movie star and how he wasn't at Raw. Well, John Cena wasn't at Raw, and Roman Reigns did a little rant on John Cena, finishing it off by saying, "See you this Sunday, movie star."
I love that promo. That promo was fantastic.
All the promos have been good.
Roman Reigns did good.
I think we're ready for this match.
I think that was Roman Reigns.
You think this was his best promo?
I do. I liked it.
Was this his best promo? I mean, I enjoyed.
In this, not overall. I'm saying.
No, yeah, I'm saying
in between this little feud they got going. I thought it was great because not only did he, they dug up the old clip from 5 years ago where John Cena was talking smack about The Rock. Now it's like he's John Cena and John Cena's The Rock now, and he's the movie star. I thought that was fantastic. I love the fact that it was kind of an homage to John Cena tipping, throwing it at The Rock back in the day, like, see you later, bye. And he did something similar to that. And I thought it was his best promo of this whole little segment going on.
Was it his best promo because he got timed all by himself and John Cena didn't overshadow him?
Yes. That would probably be the reason 100% why. John Cena is one of the best promo cutters ever.
In these promo battles, John Cena seems like he wins every week. And
it was good I thought it was a good promo for Roman Reigns overall, though. It was his best because of John Cena not being, a part of it, so to speak. But I thought overall, I thought it was Roman Reigns. I think he did a great job. I feel like his promo cutting is getting much better.
So
I think it was a bit unique. Just to add this, Aaron, that it's not typical for one of the main matches in the pay-per-view for both guys not to be on the immediate wrestling card before the pay-per-view in terms of hyping it up. So I think it was a unique strategy by WWE in this market, but also in terms of, I think Roman Reigns, I think it was perfect because he couldn't be overshadowed. It kind of gave him the drop the mic in a moment, literally and figuratively, and I think that's really going to help build this. I think it was the perfect ending before this pay-per-view match.
Who, not the favorite, but who is the fan favorite, let's say, heading into this Sunday's match?
God, that's a tough question. I would think that it's John Cena based off the fact of, like, John Cena seems to be the people's champ to this Roman Reigns thing, breaking the fourth wall, and Roman Reigns being the forced down our throat superstar, and then Roman Reigns kind of feeding into that, saying, hey, look at the numbers, look at the ratings, I'm bringing the money, baby. I would like to think that the fans are gravitating towards John Cena and being able to do this, even so, which kind of leads me to believe that perhaps you give Roman Reigns this ginormous win, just a sneak peek to the picks for later.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say a teaser for later. We'll get to it. We'll get to our picks later on. But I mean, I think the fans. I mean, at least from my perspective, I think the fans are behind John Cena. Way more than they are Roman Reigns right now. I mean, it doesn't hurt when he cuts it. It doesn't. Help matters for Roman Reigns where he's not cutting. As good of a promo as John Cena. I think the fans are more engaged with the way John Cena's. What he's bringing to this match. I think overall, I think John Cena is the fan favorite. But I do like to Paul's point. I think it would put Roman Reigns over. He's over anyways, but I mean, he's going to get a nice little kick, so to speak, a little teaser, to maybe who I'm picking.
Do you think he's over in the sense, like you say he's over in the sense of, we know who he is. He's a big-time star, but is he over in the sense that fans are going to actually want to see them do stuff with him? Are they just going to still boo him? I was at WrestleMania. He was booed by 100,000 people at AT&T Stadium. There was the worst send-off to a WrestleMania card I've ever seen, TV or live or regardless, where the night went out, 100,000 people booed him out of the building. Do you think there's going to be a day where he could do exactly what he did at WrestleMania 16 or do exactly what he did at WrestleMania 32 or WrestleMania 33 and not get booed?
It's going to be tough right now. I think I don't think after this match, certainly after this match, it's not going to happen. But I think over time, I do think he's going to get that that pop that I think he deserves. I think to his point, he has busted his rear end for a long time. I mean, he's been doing it, and John Cena's been part-time, you know what I mean? So he's been really grinding out. So I think the thing that rubs a lot of the diehard wrestling fans the wrong way is, he didn't go to the indie circuit like Daniel Bryan and some of these other guys like AJ Styles and travel the world before they make it here. He just had he had it back at the Florida Championship Wrestling days. Now it's NXT. So a lot of the hardcore wrestling fans, it's going to be hard to break them. You know how that is. Some of these fans are just never going to like him because he didn't earn his stripes. So to speak.
I think fans don't like him not because he didn't earn his stripes as much as that WWE just decided without anybody saying that this is what we want. Stone Cold Steve Austin was decided by the fans. Roman Reigns doesn't seem like he was decided by the fans. He seems like he was decided by WWE. WWE is like, let's see more Daniel Bryan, and let's do Roman Reigns.
Let me put it this way. I would say yes, Vince McMahon is WWE, but it was Vince McMahon. Not anybody else is calling that shot. That's Vince McMahon's 100%. He's came out and said that. That's Vince McMahon 100% on that Roman Reigns.
But that's the problem. It's Vince McMahon and not the
fans.
They
should have. It should be a combination of things. It should be Vince McMahon with his board of directors, along with the fans. I think it should be a combination. I think we should get a vote, and obviously our vote as fans is the fan reaction. Here's the best thing. You guys know this better than anybody, just like myself. The best way, if you want to get rid of a WWE person that you don't like, you don't cheer, you don't want to cheer, you don't want to boo, you just don't do anything. Because if there's no reaction, guess what? Bye, see you later. So actually, if you think about it, all these boos are actually making more money in his pocket because a reaction, one way or the other, is better than no reaction. No reaction at all, that means you're out the door. Simple as that.
Paul, would you agree with that?
I think what's really going to happen is that Roman Reigns is going to eventually, and I don't mean eventually like 5 years from now, I think very soon after this pay-per-view of No Mercy, he is going to start getting some of the fears. I think that we're going to, or at the very least, less boos, because I think that that's kind of what this is all kind of leading to in my mind, is that the development and the evolution of his character. And I do agree that that's the point. It's not that he hasn't kind of paid his dues, so to speak, to Brandon's point. I think it's more so to your point, Jarod, that it's not that there's a lack of that there. Like he's some silver spoon